Power lies in options, not commitments. Have you ever wondered why the most powerful people in the world never tie themselves down to a single option? Why they never commit fully to just one path, one job, or even one relationship? Because control is an illusion. The moment you have only one choice, you become a prisoner of it. True power comes from flexibility, the ability to walk away, to adapt, and to create opportunities where others see none. Imagine two people standing at a crossroads. One has burned all his bridges, betting everything on a single path. The other has multiple doors open, each leading to a different opportunity. Who do you think holds the real power? If you want to be untouchable, if you want to build a mindset so strong that no one can ever control you, you need to start thinking like high-value individuals do. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how. Seneca's strategy. Power through flexibility. Seneca, one of Rome's greatest philosophers, understood something most people never realize. Power isn't about controlling others. It's about never letting yourself be controlled. He rose to the highest levels of Roman politics as Emperor Nero's trusted advisor. But in Rome, power was fleeting. The moment Nero saw him as a threat, Seneca was exiled, stripped of everything. Most would have broken under that pressure, but Seneca had already prepared for this moment. He never depended on just one source of power. He built his wealth outside of politics. He studied philosophy to master his emotions. He understood that when you rely on only one option, one job, one person, one belief, you become vulnerable. This is why the strongest people always keep their options open. They never bet everything on one path. They position themselves to walk away if necessary. In this video, you'll learn a 30-day strategy to develop an unshakable mindset. A mindset that ensures no setback, no person, and no situation can ever put you in a position of weakness. 1. The core principle: flexibility is power. Most people unknowingly trap themselves. They invest everything, time, money, emotions, into a single path, believing it's the only way forward. A job, a relationship, even a belief system. And when that path collapses, so do they. High-value individuals think differently. They never allow themselves to be fully dependent on one option. They create multiple pathways. Plan B, Plan C, even Plan D, because the moment you rely on only one choice, you give away your power. Take Napoleon Bonaparte. He didn't rise to power by following a rigid, predetermined path. He adapted. In his early military career, he took on roles that others ignored. He mastered unconventional tactics. He moved quickly. He adjusted when necessary. And when he was exiled, he didn't accept defeat. He waited. He observed. He returned, because he had already calculated multiple ways to win. The same principle applied to Seneca. While serving as Nero's advisor, he amassed wealth, not through politics, but through business and writing. He knew one simple truth: nothing lasts forever. Power is temporary. Positions change. And the people who seem to be in control today could be powerless tomorrow. When Seneca was forced into exile, he didn't fall apart. He had already prepared a life outside of Rome's political chaos. Now look at Steve Jobs. After being forced out of Apple, he didn't fight to get back in immediately. Instead, he created Next. He invested in Pixar. He built something new, so that when Apple needed him again, he returned with leverage. He didn't beg for an opportunity. He created his own. So how do you apply this principle to your own life? First, identify your vulnerabilities. Where are you dependent? Is it one job, one relationship, one belief that defines your entire identity? Second, start building alternatives. Develop new skills. Expand your network. create multiple income streams, even if they start small. Third, detach emotionally from any single option. The moment you feel like you must have something to survive, you've already lost. Because true power is not about holding on, it's about having the ability to walk away. Second lesson from Seneca: enduring hardship to become unbreakable. You cannot control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. This is the foundation of Stoicism, a philosophy that allowed Seneca to survive the brutal shifts of power in ancient Rome without ever breaking. Seneca wasn't born into power. He earned his status as one of the most influential philosophers and political figures of his time. He became Emperor Nero's closest advisor, a position of immense power, but also immense risk. And, as expected, power in Rome never remained stable for long. Eventually, Nero turned against him. Seneca was accused of conspiracy and sentenced to forced suicide. He had no escape, no army to defend him, no political favor left to cash in. Most men in his position would have panicked, begged, or tried to resist, but not Seneca, because he had already prepared for this moment. He didn't need control over external circumstances. He had control over himself. How Seneca conditioned his mind for hardship. Seneca followed a strict mental training routine, designed to make him immune to fear, loss, and suffering. First, he practiced voluntary discomfort. He deliberately lived below his means, slept on the floor, ate simple meals, and deprived himself of luxury, even when he had access to wealth and comfort. Why? Because he understood a key truth. If you can become comfortable with discomfort, nothing can scare you. If you already know what it feels like to lose everything, the fear of loss no longer controls you. Second, he used negative visualization. Every day, he imagined worst-case scenarios, losing his wealth, his status, his home, even his life. But instead of feeling anxious, he used this as preparation. By mentally experiencing loss before it happened, he trained himself to respond calmly when challenges arose in reality. Third, he built inner wealth, knowledge, wisdom, and resilience, rather than relying solely on external wealth or status. Because of this, when the day came that Nero ordered his death, Seneca was already ready. He accepted his fate with complete composure. He was not afraid, because he had trained himself to be unbreakable. Applying Seneca's mindset to modern life. So how do you develop this same level of mental toughness? First, train yourself to endure discomfort. Take control of small struggles now so that bigger ones don't break you. Wake up earlier. Push yourself physically. Fast occasionally. Sleep on the floor. Do things that challenge your comfort. Second, detach from external validation. Your job, your wealth, your relationships, these things can all disappear. Appreciate them, but don't let them define you. Because if you can only be happy when everything is going well, you're already vulnerable. Third, prepare for adversity. Expect setbacks, expect failures, expect betrayal. Most people hope for an easy life. Seneca knew that was foolish. Instead of fearing hardship, he embraced it. Because true resilience isn't about avoiding struggle. It's about becoming indestructible in the face of it. 3. 30-Day Mental Toughness Strategy, a practical guide. Every day, you must do something that expands your choices, because the more options you have, the less control others have over you. This 30-day strategy will help you build an unshakable mindset, one that ensures no situation, no person, and no failure can ever put you in a position of weakness. Week 1. Eliminate what's holding you back. Before you can gain power, you must first remove what weakens you. Start by identifying the areas where you are most vulnerable. What controls you? Is it a job that drains your energy? A toxic relationship? A self-limiting belief? For the next 7 days, make deliberate changes. Cut out distractions. Reduce time spent on social media, entertainment, and meaningless activities. Distance yourself from people who drain your energy or limit your growth. Identify negative thought patterns. Every time you catch yourself saying, "I can't," reframe it into, "How can I?" Mental toughness begins with removing the things that make you dependent and weak. Week 2. Expand your network and opportunities. Once you've cleared space in your life, it's time to build power. Power comes from options, and options come from skills, relationships, and knowledge. For the next 7 days, focus on creating new opportunities. Learn a new skill that increases your value. Whether it's negotiation, public speaking, or coding, develop something that makes you harder to replace. Reach out to 5 new people. Connect with individuals who challenge and inspire you. Build relationships with people who are already where you want to be. Step into new environments. Attend events, join a mastermind group, or engage with communities outside of your current social circle. The more connections you have, the more paths you create. And the more paths you have, the harder it is for anyone to control you. Week 3. Train yourself to handle failure. Most people fear failure because they have never trained for it. Mentally strong individuals, they see failure as a tool, a weapon that makes them better, not weaker. This week, focus on reframing failure as growth. Deliberately put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Speak up in a meeting. Take on a challenge where failure is a real possibility. Push yourself beyond your comfort zone. Analyze past failures. Instead of avoiding painful memories, break them down. What did you learn? What patterns do you see? Develop emotional control. Whenever something goes wrong, force yourself to pause. Instead of reacting emotionally, ask yourself, what's the lesson here? By the end of this week, you will start seeing setbacks as fuel for your growth, rather than something to fear. Week 4. Become someone no one can control. This is where everything comes together. Now that you've eliminated your weaknesses, expanded your opportunities, and built resilience to failure, it's time to establish complete independence. For the final 7 days, create multiple sources of power, start a side business, develop multiple income streams, or diversify your career opportunities. The less you rely on one thing, the more control you have. Master the art of detachment. Practice letting go of expectations, outcomes, and attachments to things outside of your control. Embody quiet strength. Stop seeking validation. Learn to be comfortable in your own presence. Speak less, observe more, and let your actions speak for you. By the end of these 30 days, you won't just think differently. You will become someone who is untouchable. 4. Why having multiple options gives you power. If you have only one path, you have no power. But if you have multiple choices, you are in control. This is a simple but fundamental law of power that most people ignore. They attach themselves to a single job, a single relationship, or a single source of income, believing that security comes from stability. But in reality, security comes from having options. The power of options in business and life. Look at the world's most successful entrepreneurs. They never rely on just one stream of income or one opportunity. Take Elon Musk. He didn't just build Tesla, he built SpaceX, Neuralink, and the Boring Company, each a separate venture that ensures his influence isn't tied to a single industry. If Tesla were to fail, Musk would still have multiple ways to thrive. Or consider Jeff Bezos. Amazon started as an online bookstore, but he didn't stop there. He expanded into retail, cloud computing, media, and artificial intelligence. If Bezos had relied only on books, Amazon wouldn't be a trillion-dollar empire today. This applies to your life too. The more options you create, the harder it is for anyone to control you. What happens when you only have one option? History is filled with people who lost everything because they put all their trust in one path. Imagine someone who spends 20 years at the same job, assuming they'll always be needed. Then, one day, the company lays them off. No backup skills, no connections, no other income. Their entire sense of security was an illusion. Or take someone who builds their entire identity around a single relationship. They believe they've found the one. But when that relationship ends, they are left with nothing because they never built a life outside of it. This is why high-value individuals never let themselves become dependent on a single source of security. How to escape the trap of having only one choice. Diversify your income. If you only rely on one paycheck, start building alternative sources of money. Even a small side hustle or passive income stream gives you leverage. Develop multiple skills. The more skills you have, the more adaptable you become. If one opportunity disappears, you have others waiting. Expand your relationships. Never rely on one person, whether it's a boss, a mentor, or a partner, for your success. Build a network of valuable connections. Train yourself to be adaptable. The ability to shift directions when necessary is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. At the end of the day, options equal freedom. Because the moment you can walk away from any situation, you become untouchable. 5. How to train your mind so nothing can break you. The secret to an unshakable mindset isn't avoiding risk, it's preparing to face it head-on. Most people live in fear, fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of the unknown. They avoid challenges hoping to stay comfortable and safe, but this only makes them weaker, because the moment something unexpected happens, they collapse. High-value individuals think differently. They don't run from hardship, they train for it. They develop mental resilience so that no setback, no rejection, and no failure can ever break them. Here's how you do the same. Step 1. Strengthen your tolerance for discomfort. The strongest minds are built through struggle. If you want to be unbreakable, you must expose yourself to controlled difficulty. Wake up earlier than you want to. Push your body through intense physical training. Take cold showers. Fast occasionally to experience hunger and discipline. Speak up in uncomfortable situations. Every time you deliberately choose discomfort, you rewire your brain to see challenges as normal. Most people panic when life gets hard, but if you've already trained yourself to endure discomfort, you won't flinch. Step 2. Master the Stoic technique of negative visualization. Most people avoid thinking about failure. Stoics embrace it. Negative visualization is a mental training method where you imagine the worst-case scenario before it happens. What if you lost your job today? What if your business failed? What if someone betrayed you? Instead of fearing these possibilities, you prepare for them. By rehearsing failure in your mind, you train yourself to stay calm if it ever happens in reality. When the worst comes, it won't feel shocking, it will feel familiar. And because you've already prepared, you'll know exactly how to respond. Step 3. Control your emotions and your reactions. Most people are slaves to their emotions. When something bad happens, they react impulsively, anger, panic, despair. But emotions don't control high-value individuals. They pause, they think, they respond strategically. To build this control, practice these habits. Delay your reactions. When you feel a strong emotion rising, take a breath before speaking or acting. This alone can stop you from making irrational decisions. Detach from outcomes. If you expect things to always go your way, you will suffer. Instead, accept that setbacks are part of life. Focus on adapting, not complaining. Adopt a long-term perspective. A temporary failure today means nothing in the grand scheme of your life. Don't let a single moment define your mindset. Final truth. Strength is a choice. You don't develop an unbreakable mind by avoiding hardship. You build it by facing difficulty willingly, by training yourself to remain calm under pressure, to prepare for failure, and to never let emotions dictate your actions. Because the moment you master your mind, nothing can break you. 6. Always stay in control. Never let others dictate your path. Smart people never put all their faith in one choice. They always leave an open door, because the moment you fully commit to a single path without alternatives, you give up control, you become dependent, and dependence is weakness. The most powerful individuals never allow themselves to be trapped. They position themselves strategically, ensuring they are always the ones making the final decision. The danger of putting everything on one choice history is filled with people who lost everything because they tied themselves to the wrong decision. A promising entrepreneur invests all their money into one business. Without a backup plan, the business fails and they are left with nothing. A corporate worker dedicates their life to one company, rejecting other opportunities. One day, they're laid off and they have nowhere to go. Someone builds their entire life around a relationship, believing it will last forever. But when it ends, they feel lost, without purpose. These failures don't happen because of bad luck. They happen because of bad strategy. High-value individuals never allow one decision to define their entire future. How to always stay in control. Never commit to a single path unless you have alternatives. Whether it's a career, a business, or a relationship, always maintain leverage. If one option disappears, you should have another ready. Keep emotions out of decisions. Many people make life-altering choices based on fear or attachment, staying in bad jobs, unhealthy relationships, or weak investments because they feel stuck. Train yourself to analyze situations logically, not emotionally. Maintain the ability to walk away. The moment you feel like you must stay in a situation, you've lost power. Develop skills, networks, and resources that allow you to leave any situation without fear. The strategic mindset of power. Power isn't about controlling others, it's about ensuring that no one controls you. Build multiple sources of income so that no single employer dictates your financial future. Expand your social circle so that no single relationship determines your self-worth. Constantly improve your skills so that you are never replaceable. The person with the most options always holds the power. Control your path. Become untouchable. If you want to be someone no one can control, you must always have options. Power doesn't come from dominance. It comes from never being dependent on one path, one person, or one outcome. We've broken down the key strategies to make you unshakable. Flexibility is power. Never rely on just one option. Learn from Seneca. Train your mind to endure hardship before it happens. The 30-day mental toughness strategy. Build independence step by step. Why options give you control. More choices mean more power. Training your mind to be unbreakable. Strength comes from preparation, not avoidance. Always stay in control. Never let someone else dictate your future. If you apply these principles, nothing will ever break you. And most importantly, you will always have the power to walk away. If you want to master the art of mental toughness, the next step is crucial. If you're serious about becoming unbreakable, the journey doesn't stop here. Watch the next video now, because those who hesitate stay weak.